So my name is Ostap. I'm a product manager of ActivityTimeline. This is a resource management and time tracking tool for Jira. And today I'll show you how you can master this in Jira using our tool. Before we start, just wanted to ask you like 1 minute for you to take a quick quiz, like what you currently use in your organization to track time. So if you can use your phone, there is just one question there. So I would really appreciate if you can do that. So basically, ActivityTimeline is dealing with those two questions. This is the question that we are trying to solve. So who is doing what in the organization, and when it will be done, and where the time was spent. So these are the questions that, from my experience, every team faces during their work, dev team, marketing team, and of course, ITSM teams. And that's why we created ActivityTimeline, and we built 4 different modules to tackle these questions. So the first one is called Plan, Resource Planning. So this is where the managers can see the users, their timelines, and what's assigned to them in Jira. The next one is called Work My Workplace. So this is the individual space for example, the support agent or developer, where they see the tasks that are allocated to them, and they can also track time in this module. The timesheet, this is the classical timesheet report. We have different types of reports. I will dive deeper later in the presentation, but essentially here you can answer the question where the time was spent. And last but not the least, this is the reports module where we have a lot of different modules about utilization, how to see planned versus actual, and I'll also discuss it later in the presentation. So let's start with the plan. So basically, it allows you to see like cross-project and cross-team allocations. So all timelines, they show tickets across all the projects that the person is involved to, both service projects and the classical Jira projects. So you can combine work, and you see the actual utilization and workload of the user. So it doesn't happen that in one project user is overloaded, and another project it seems that he is almost free. So you see the actual information. The next one is two-way sync. So all the information in ActivityTimeline, it's fully synchronized with Jira. So basically, any change you do in Jira or in Activity, it's synchronized. And on top of that, we also have integration with advanced roadmaps and big picture and some other add-ons that use Jira custom fields. So workload indicator. So in my opinion, this is like the most powerful feature in our app. So it answers the question if user has the capacity to do work or not. And it is very flexible. So it can be calculated based on the hours, on the estimates. It could be calculated based on the story points. And also from the ITSM perspective, we have teams that use it for defining the number of tickets that the person can handle in a day, which considered like over or under allocation. And also we have the internal estimate. So and it all works in the combination, so you can combine different types of work, and it will all be shown here and also in the report, so with the workload indicator. And last from the plan, so this is like the custom events. So we find that in Jira, like Jira issue types, they are not necessarily like cover every use case. So we've created our custom events that work both as work items, like meetings, for example, or bookings or project allocation when you need to assign the person on the project level rather than on the actual ticket, but also like non-working activities like vacation, days off, and so on, which reduce the person capacity. So when planning for some work, you get exactly capacity of the team, of the person that you have, and not like the theoretical capacity. Moving forward is the work view. So this is the individual view. Here the person sees what tasks are assigned to him or her specifically. So basically, you see like the time spent and the time planned for yourself. Next, you see all the assigned tasks. So not necessarily that they are planned, so they have any specific dates, but you see everything that is scheduled, that is assigned to you in Jira across all the projects. So it's very convenient, and you don't need to switch between the tabs in Jira. Sometimes it's confusing, especially for newer users or less technically tech-savvy users. And personal time tracking. So basically, person can log the hours, see what they spent, and also edit the timesheets right from here. So this is like the personal space where they can do all their work. So they don't need actually to open Jira. They can work on the ticket, they can report hours, and they can close the ticket right from here. Next is track. So this is the timesheet module. We have 3 types of reports. Progress report, this is the most high level. So it shows basically, laser doesn't work. So it shows the required hours. So how many person is theoretically available in this period based on his capacity and his times off, vacations, and everything that he created, everything that was submitted in his timeline. Logged hours, this is the actual, what we see from his work that he has done. And non-working days, so we can see like how many vacations and times off he took in the period. And timesheet progress manager can see like if people are reporting time or not, because ideally it should be at 100%, but it's not always the case, so you can easily see it. Next one is the timeline timesheet. So basically, it allows you to group the data, so it's more like a classical timesheet where you can group the data by project, by issue, by epic, but it's not just it. You can group also by custom fields, so it's very flexible, and you can see how much time was spent on a specific time period, and the colors represent, was it more than his capacity or less than his capacity? So you can quite easily see, and how much total the team spent, you can see on the bottom. And this is accessible in the Excel, the same as all our other reports. And last from this module is the detailed timesheet. So this is the expandable report. So you can modify it with additional custom fields, meaning that it is not just this table. You can enrich it with your additional custom fields from your Jira and make it more relevant to your organization. And for example, a lot of customers, they export it then into Excel and do, for example, some calculations, or they use it as the timesheet to send to the customer. Okay, so now I know what you're thinking, like it's already took so long, so probably you think like this. Yeah, but it's one more module left, so power through with me. So resource utilization, this is probably like the most popular report that we have. It shows you the total available capacity of the person and of the team, so you know like what is the theoretical capacity we have to do for the future. Utilized, meaning that like what's already planned, what's already in the pipeline, and percentage-wise. So you see like if there are some opportunities, like if it's 0% or it's in yellow, it means that the person is under-allocated, so we can assign more work. And you can drill this down by project, by epic, by any other category you want, so you can see like at what criteria, at what categories we are spending time, we are planning our time. So moving forward, the next popular report is the leave report. So it's very useful for team leaders, for example, to see when the holidays and vacations are planned for our team members, so they can plan accordingly. And also for HRs, it's important for them to keep track of that. So it's very easy and like one click away. And last report that I want to show you, this is called planned versus actual report. It's available on the project level, on the epic level, on the issue level. But essentially, it compares what was originally planned in Jira based on the estimates, and it compares it with the actual based on the remaining estimate and the time reported. And then we can see like the deviation. So ideally, original estimate should equal what was spent and what's left. But if it's not the case, we can see what went wrong and if the project was over or underestimated. And again, you can do it on any level and also based on the Jira custom filter. So it's quite flexible, and again, you can export it into Excel for further analysis. That's basically it. Thanks for again, thanks for coming. Since we don't have the Q&A, feel free to visit our booth. It's right next to the exit, and thanks for the attention.